Hi, friends. It's your online chaplain, Jenny Call, and I have to say that this new medium is a little outside of my comfort zone, but I did want to continue to check in as we all deal with the effects of this virus as we self-quarantine and socially distance ourselves to protect those among us that are immunocompromised, to hopefully flatten the curve and lessen the spread of this virus and its impacts. I want you to know that as we may be physically apart, you are certainly close in my thoughts and my prayers and in my heart. And I certainly miss the community that we share together when we are in person. Campus is a very different place right now as students are preparing to leave or have already left to return home or are waiting to see what new changes may come. The uncertainty is always the hardest part when we realize that we don't have control over situations and we just have to trust in faith that things will work out well and that good decisions will be made and that we do the best we can to take care of not only ourselves but our community and our neighbors, all of those around us who could be impacted. So I like those that have been talking about this opportunity as an opportunity to really show love to one another by making choices that are not just in our best interest, but the best interest of those who may be more impacted. So I thought that we would take some time on Tuesdays when I would normally do sanctuary here at Hollins to have a little sanctuary that we will create a space that will allow us to breathe and to renew ourselves. A time for reflection, a time of forming a spiritual community, of reminding ourselves of the goodness that we share in community, and hopefully giving us a chance to engage in new ways and dialogue with one another. Now, I was a little hesitant to start off with a Facebook Live today, so I will be going to that probably next week. I wanted to record this and get a feel for it, but I do want to actually engage with you. That is the part that I love most about my job, is being present and hearing your stories and really discussing together and building those relationships and community together. So I'm missing out on that. And so I do hope that you will comment and interact. I would love to see your own videos, your own thoughts. And throughout the week, each day I'm looking to do something a little bit different. So on Mondays, I'm doing what I'm calling Monday mantras, which will be more affirmation based. On Tuesdays, we will gather together for sanctuary, so that space for reflection and breathing, for renewal, for spiritual connection. And so hopefully, like I said, that will be more interactive in future weeks. On Wednesdays, I will be sharing some sort of inspiration that I've come across that has moved me or made me laugh or made me think. And so you will see that on Facebook with the hashtag online chaplain. On Thursdays, I'm looking for opportunities to video chat. So I'm looking for conversations with small groups of people. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And on Fridays, there will be a weekend check-in where we'll have just a question about how you're coping and where you're finding hope and what practices have been meaningful to you in this strange time that we find ourselves in. And then Sunday, I think we will start off the week with a question of the week that we can respond to and interact together. So today, in this time of sanctuary, I wanted to bring you a practice that has been meaningful to me and meaningful to many people throughout different faith traditions over the years. A lot of times when there's anxiety, when there's panic, when we may even be stressed or overwhelmed, a common response is for someone to tell us, just breathe. And usually in the moment, that's not a very helpful suggestion. It can sound kind of condescending, as if we hadn't thought about that before. But I think about what it means to be invited into a space where we become aware of our breathing, that we become aware of this process that is automatic, something that we don't think about very much. It's typically something that just happens naturally or mindlessly. But when we shift our focus and it becomes something we're mindfully aware of, it allows us to center ourselves in this present moment, and not be distracted by all that may be going on in our mind, all that's surrounding us, the chaos of the external world. But it allows us to still and quiet ourselves, to focus on what is taking place naturally, to remember that we are alive and that we have what we need, that we are being filled with air, with inspiration, with the Spirit that continues to guide us and strengthen us and renew us. I will share in the comments a link to one of my favorite authors, Sarah Bessey, who has written a post on breath prayer, and she has shared some of her favorites. In my tradition, in the Christian tradition, sometimes this is referred to as centering prayer, and it's also known as the Jesus prayer, because a lot of times you will pick words that you will repeat in your mind as you breathe in and out. And one of the most common ones in Christianity is, as you breathe in, you can say, Jesus Christ, Son of God, and then as you exhale, have mercy on me, a sinner. Now, I know that all of you who may be watching or listening may not be Christian. That might not be a tradition that you're a part of or that you're comfortable with for whatever reason. The good thing about this tradition is breathing is something we all do, and we can also figure out words to say that will help center us based on where we are and based on how we're feeling at any point in time. A breath prayer that I've been doing in recent days is just taking the time to breathe in and breathe out until I feel my heart pounding slow down a little bit, as I feel some of those anxious thoughts start to settle a little bit. And then I will pray in my mind something like, fill me, and then as I exhale, and help me to let go. For me, it's about filling myself with the Spirit, with the hope and the inspiration and the faith that I need to face uncertain times. And then as I exhale, to let go of all the things that I try to so tightly hold on and control. Because in times like these, I realize how little control I have. And me trying to hang on to that only creates more anxiety and tension. And so for me, with faith being such a part of my life, I have to live the words that I often preach. I have to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. I have to remember to trust in faith that all will be well, that there is a hope that is beyond the circumstances that surround us now, and that there's a love that holds us when all seems unsure. I think the gift in these times is the way that you see people reaching out in love, and the ways that we're learning to form new community and new means of connecting with one another and supporting each other. And so I hope that this will be an opportunity. So I invite you into this practice now, that if you can carve a few minutes in your day for sanctuary, I invite you to find a position where you're comfortable, maybe seated, and if so, with your feet on the floor and your back as straight as you can be, sitting comfortably. And just take time to focus on your breath, bringing your awareness to the act of breathing that brings you life, that keeps you going. Notice the sensation of the air filling your body and what it feels like when you let that go. Notice without judgment if there is tension anywhere that you're hanging on to, if there are thoughts that you want to let go of. When you notice those things, just return your attention to your breath. If you're comfortable and want to, you are invited to close your eyes or to find a soft point to focus your gaze on. And think if there is an affirmation, a mantra, a scripture verse, a phrase that might be meaningful to you. Part of it to say as you inhale, and the other as you exhale. Take a few moments to breathe and to think your mantra, your affirmation, your encouragement to yourself. I hope as you breathe, you will feel peace, that you will feel everything slowing down just a little bit, and that you are creating the space for breathing, the space for margin in your busy life and day. With all of our anxieties and cares, it's nice to have a practice that we could focus on that creates that stillness and peace, that helps us to find sanctuary. And so, my friends, I do hope you find sanctuary today, that you create it, and that you realize it's always there inside of you. May you be at peace. May you know that you have my prayers. And may we connect again here and in person soon enough. Take care.